The beast, the beast, the beast jumped into the front seat and took control of his body. Thought process turned out shoddy, holes placed strategically in both of their bodies. Why? Echoes through hollow cranial cavities, asked by those baffled by backwards ass tragedies such as these. Damn, my heart and eyes bleed. And praying is really hard on days like these, so I write. Praying is really hard on days like these, so I write. The epiphany into existence, the realization that one person's bridge burned is the other person's lesson learned. And how can he be a producer and a murderer? Instinct, killer, love hurts more now than ever. 3 lives lost over 2 years, family hydrating trees with buckets of tears, and I can't stand it here. I can't stand it here, another corpse, so I strive to speak life until mine takes its course. Anger boils my very being, torrid toxins disperse. So do I embrace it and write poisonous verse or reverse the curse? Killer instinct, hearts beat at death's brink, eyes see at last blink. It takes 2 seconds to act and 1 second to think. Wielding a weapon or igniting ignorance when pen and pad converse. Flames burst, what's worse? Pulling triggers or corrupting minds, stopping intellectual birth. What's worse? Wielding a weapon or igniting ignorance when pen and pad converse. Flames burst. What's worse? Pulling triggers or corrupting minds, stopping intellectual birth. What's worse? What's worse? I love you, Dante. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Killer instincts. Killer instincts. Killer instincts.
Technical.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So, what was the inspiration behind that one?
My cousin, my first cousin, he actually shot and killed his ex-girlfriend and then killed himself.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the reenactment in the beginning is the actual phone call that my aunt called me and told me about it. And it's just a piece trying to understand why he would do that.
Yeah.
Because he was a producer. You know, he had been on the Source magazine, and he was producing for Scarface, and I mean, he was doing a lot, and he was happy, and he was, you know, had 2 little boys, and loved them, you know, and I couldn't grasp why he would do something like that. So that piece was just trying to identify with him, in a sense, and for healing, because it hurt, you know.
Plus, you can't really know how he's thinking. You can only kind of
surmise.
Think what you're thinking. Like, why would you? How could you even think to do something like that?
Yeah. And it's weird. I mean, because there really are no answers. Because you don't know why. We don't know why he did that to that girl. And you know, they say that he died considerably like later than her, so I feel like he was weighing his options.
Yeah.
Almost, and he took that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where that came from.
And that's another really powerful poem.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Especially the beginning, because it was so raw, kind of.
We took that whole thing was in one take.
Wow.
I didn't do it again. I didn't revisit it. I don't know the piece by heart.
Is that one of the reasons why?
What, that I don't know by heart?
Yeah.
It's just some things I'd rather just not relive over and over again on stage.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Because I go to a place where, in order to accurately convey your piece, you have to go back to that emotion.
Exactly.
Some of the stuff I just...
You don't want to go back
Yeah, I
to
leave it at the altar.
That's not really something that anybody would want to go back to feeling
Yeah.
again. So
But it's something that needed to be said because there are people who are committing suicide and killing and murdering people every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there are people who are their family members.
Yeah.
And you never realize that until you're on the other side of it. Till you are the family member of the person who's done this thing.
Yeah.
And who's killed themselves. And you can say all day, why didn't he just kill himself first? Why kill somebody else? Why do any of that? Who knows? What's your instinct?
Yeah.
What where were you when he was crying for help? Because I'm sure he did. You know what I mean?
Because we can't think like that. Because a lot of people do think like that, and you can't know what they're thinking at the time, how they feel at the time, to make certain decisions that we on the outside are just like, well, why would you?
Right.
So.
Yeah, and you never look. It's hard to know how to deal with it, and you're not the victim's family. You're not the victim's family. You're the family of the assailant.
And that had to be harder too.
Yeah, and I mean, fortunate for me, if there is any fortunate in the situation, we live here in Maryland. They live in another state, and he lived in a state with the rest of my that side of my family, and so I didn't really have to deal with the backlash.
Yeah.
Of the name and people thinking what was he doing and all of that, so I didn't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what that's about.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
heavy.
That is pretty heavy, because I could tell, and I was like, is this really something from her own experience when I listened to it, or is it something that she's doing based on someone else, or is she doing it it's a story that she's made from just other people's experiences that she might have saw even on TV. You hear about stuff like that.
Yeah. So
you hear about it all the time.
Yeah. So that was real.
That was really real. And on this CD, most of them are your own personal feelings.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, most of them are. I would say, like, Passion Fruit Tea is a story. Beautifully Bound is a story. I'm trying to think of the other one. I think those are the only two that are like fiction on the album. Yeah. Beautifully Bound, and Passion Fruit Tea.
Okay. They probably came from something else, though.
Oh, yeah. Like, the idea of, like, Passion Fruit Tea is, like, about down low brother. And, somebody actually just was like, hey, we're just throwing out concepts. Write something about passion fruit tea, actual passion fruit tea, T-E-A-T. And so I was like, okay. I know what to do. So it just came to me to do the play on words, passion fruity, passion fruit tea.
Yeah. So I like that one.
Yeah.
Hence
the poem. Yeah. It's definitely it's a piece that I perform on the road with a poetry troupe that I travel around the country with, nationally known. We deal with like AIDS, HIV, sex awareness, things like that. It's called Punani Poets.
You do so much.
I do.
How do you even find time to have a different job besides your?
Well, fortunately, my job is not extremely demanding, and it lends to me being able to write and to conceptualize and stuff like that while I'm there, because I work in the in-school suspension room. So when everybody's in there, they gotta be quiet. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have time to just